Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of The Human Side of Marketing. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Kurt Stockwell from the Well-Dressed Walrus.
Hello, Chris. Good to see you again.
Kurt, do you ever just call me the Walrus? The Walrus.
The Walrus. I am the Walrus. we have a mug out by our coffee stand, or our little Keurig that a client gave us. You know, of course, the Beatles. I am the Walrus.
Nice.
Eggman. We don't have an Eggman, though.
No Eggman. Cuckoo. Hey, today we're talking about like the how humans read websites, not algorithms read websites, but how do humans, where do their eyes go? Why is this important? All that. So break this down for me. Why is this important? What do we need to know?
You know, Chris, believe it or not, humans actually will read your website. And it's more important than the algorithm that reads your website. I think we didn't even really talk about this when we were prepping for the show, but you're right in bringing up the fact that algorithm. To get off topic a little bit, we'll get right back on topic. But one of the things that we hear a lot from people is, well, how do I rank? How do I make my website nice and tasty for Google? What do we need to know about what the algorithms are doing? And we're always like, you know what? That's an important conversation, but let's talk about humans first.
Right.
You know, Google actually wants your website consumable for people.
Yep.
And then, believe it or not, the algorithms know all of those things, and don't worry about the algorithms. Your website
algorithms aren't going to buy your stuff. They're not on your website to buy your stuff.
The algorithm is not going to knock on your door and buy your stuff.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we build websites for people, not search engines.
That's good. Well, that's the human side of marketing, right? That's the human. That's like the whole thing. That's the whole hypothesis here.
Exactly.
The human side of it.
You got it. After 16 episodes, Chris, you got it.
Yes. Right, I love it. Better late than never. So
that's right.
I love it.
So we're talking about talking about the above the fold part of your website. So above the fold in newspaper days, that was, the fold of the newspaper. All of your big major headlines were above the fold. In this day and age, the term above the fold is above the fold of your laptop.
Got it.
Okay,
before they have to scroll.
Before you have to scroll. Exactly. The above the fold area. Now, don't hear too many people talking about it much anymore, but there was the thought, this was probably 9 years ago, when I was first getting into website development about 10 years ago. The big common thought was all of your important messaging, everything on your homepage needed to be above the fold, because people won't know to scroll down to see it. Well, if they don't see it, how are they going to know it's down there? Well, don't worry about that anymore, because as soon as we get on devices nowadays, the first thing you do is you take your finger and you start scrolling down your tablet, or you scrolling down your smartphone. And as soon as you land on a web page, you start scrolling. So thank you, handheld devices. You've taught the world to scroll. So don't worry about the above the fold aspect of stuff hiding below the fold. Okay, so now the above the fold part of your website is still very important, because you have 7 seconds to grab somebody's attention before they're starting to lose interest. And it's probably even shorter now. It's probably like 5 seconds.
Yep.
Somebody lands on your website and they should be able to pass what's called the grunt test. The grunt test is, I should be able to, in a couple seconds, grunt out what this website is, what problem they solve, and how do I take the next step.
Right.
Okay, so if you threw this in front of a caveman, they should be able to grunt that out. Now, there are a few things about how the human eye navigates this above the fold part of the website today, and that's really what we're going to get into.
I love it.
So,
break it down for me.
So it's a Z pattern. So if you think the letter Z, the natural reading path of the Western world anyway is from left to right.
Yep.
That's how we read, right? From left to right. So the upper left part of your website is point 1. The upper right part of your website is point 2, and then think about the little bar going down the Z, and then the lower left part of your website is point 3, and then the lower right part of your website above the fold is point 4. So we've made a Z pattern. Hopefully everybody in their brain or is marking it with their finger, they're making the Z pattern. So what should be in those areas?
Yep.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Point 1, in the upper left corner should be your logo.
Okay.
And your logo should be, it doesn't need to be too big. It can be recognizable, but don't worry about it being enormous. And a lot of times I'll get into a debate, not a debate, but I'll give some clarity to clients who are like, I want my logo bigger. I want bigger. My logo needs to be bigger. I'm like, okay, people aren't here for your logo. Okay, people are here for the problem that you're solving. Let's keep that in mind.
Yep.
So your logo needs to be prominently up in that point 1, that upper left corner. Now, your eye is naturally scrolling or moving from left to right. So what's in that point 2? That point 2 should be your main call to action button.
Okay.
Many times your menu.
Right. I was going to say the menu is what I usually see.
Right, but in that menu, a lot of times in websites now, you can highlight one main tab. That main tab that you're highlighted should be your main call to action.
I love that.
What do you want people to do? So maybe that's buy now. Maybe that's schedule a consultation. Maybe that's talk to an expert. Whatever your buy now button is on your website. I always tell people, if you had your user do one thing on your website, what would you want them to do? They're only going to do one thing.
Right.
Download something, call, contact us. So that's what needs to be there. Now, the center of the page is you're going from upper right down to lower left. This is a really critical part of your website as well. This is where you need to have a simple one-line explanation and a so that statement. So I got a couple examples here. Okay, let's say you're a bookkeeping service.
Okay.
So literally big bold letters, bookkeeping services for small businesses. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
When I'm landing on your website and I'm grunting out what you do, if I grunted out bookkeeping services for small businesses, you pass the test.
Yep, it's clear.
Maybe you are in lawn care, residential lawn care services. Don't get cute with it. Don't try to be clever with it. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the bookkeeper. So bookkeeping services for small businesses. Now you need a so that explanation. Okay. We take the worry out of your bookkeeping so that you can focus on running your business.
Got it.
Simple.
Right.
A so that statement is a really simple formula that anybody can do to tie together what they do. This is what we do so that you can have your problem solved, so that you can get back to living your life. Residential lawn care services. During the week, we make your yard look great so that you can enjoy weekends in the yard with your family. Something like that.
Yep.
I love it. Simple. You're solving their problem. With the bookkeeping service, I just want to run my business. I don't want to worry about I don't want to stress out about my books. We're going to do that for you. The lawn care service, at the end of the day, you want to play and have fun with your family in your yard at the end during the weekend. Hey, we're going to take care of that during the week for you. Yep. Really simple. And many times in these areas, businesses overthink it. They try to get too cute and clever. You don't need to be cute and clever.
And so is this really important grunt test statement? Is this in the middle of the site, like square in the, like between points 2 and 3? Like as my eye scrolls down, it's hitting the middle of the website.
The middle of the website, the middle of that page. Yep.
Got it.
Nice,
okay.
Big, bold, simple couple sentences.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Love it.
Now we've navigated from upper right through that really important messaging down to lower left. Okay. So we're at point 3. What we like to say is we like to call that a value stack. So from point 3 over to point 4, so you're completing that lower bar. And again, this is sitting up nice and kind of placed perfectly above the fold of the website. So bring up a few value statements about the service that you offer. So accounting, affordable rates, reports that make sense, personalized services. Okay, think about what your customer wants to hear. Now, in these areas is where another place where businesses they can think about it too much. They can get too caught up in the weeds or talk over people's heads.
Right.
Keep it simple. What simple problem are you trying to solve? You can get into the weeds a little bit more as they scroll down the homepage. Hopefully you're not getting people in the weeds. You can get in the weeds in some of the other pages of your website.
Right.
Keep it really simple. Lawn care service. Okay. So this value stack from left to right, customizable services, recognizable crew, eco-friendly products.
Nice.
Now, I was thinking about a lawn care service and I was thinking about an accounting service. So accounting, what would I want to know, right? And maybe this is something you need to ask your customers. So in our example of the accounting service, I want to know that I can afford it, affordable rates. Reports that make sense, because these reports that I get from my financials, I never understand what they mean. And then personalized service. I know that this bookkeeper is not just somebody who wants to hide in a closet, banging away on their laptop, in QuickBooks. They actually want to talk to me. Now, the lawn care service, what does your customers want? Think about your customer. They want customizable services.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A recognizable crew. You're bringing people into the lawn of your customer. They need to be put together. They need to look nice, and they need to be recognizable from week to week that this guy in my lawn is supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, think about little things like that, right?
Right.
I've got kids, and I've never seen this person before, and he's wandering around my yard. Oh, he's part of the lawn crew. He doesn't have a shirt on. He does, little things like that. Think about how you make a difference in your product that you offer, and the things that people would gravitate towards. And I just picked eco-friendly products for the last example because I don't know, people want to make sure that we're not in Spokane polluting the aquifer, right?
I know, yeah.
Little things like that.
It's good. I just went and looked at your website, and yours are clarify your message, turn users into customers, restore brand pride. I'm like, that's perfect. Like, those are value stacks of like, this is what happens. Like, when you work with Well Dressed Walrus, we help you clarify your message. We turn your users into customers, and we restore your brand. I love that. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. Now, the last piece of it, you need to have a background behind all of these things.
Okay.
Now, one thing that always kind of drives me batty is when you have, let's say you're an accounting service. We're going through this accounting service example, and you've got a picture of the cityscape.
Right.
Why a picture of the cityscape? Are you selling helicopter tours of the city?
Right.
Are you in real estate? Are you selling, the penthouse apartment in this building? No. Put a picture or an image of that people can recognize. Maybe a stock photo of people working on the books together. Somebody who's obviously providing instruction, and somebody who's happily receiving that instruction.
Right.
Or lawn care. You got a family that's sitting in the lawn and they're happy. Right. Don't overthink this image that the initial image that people are seeing is going to, they're going to resonate with that. Mm-hmm. People are not resonating with a hiker on the top of a mountaintop with his arms up in the air,
right.
Or the cityscape, or, some random picture of an island somewhere. I don't know why we default to those, or why people default to those, maybe because they're free online.
Right.
Think about something that your customer would resonate with.
I love it.
That image.
That's so good. That's so good. I think what's cool about this conversation, when you're talking about how humans read a website, like what you just shared is so much easier for me to understand than like me trying to understand algorithms and keyword phrases, H1 tags, H2 tags, H3 tags. Like it's a simple Z with like super clear, plain language and some value attached. Like, I love that, because that feels good to me as a human. I'm like, okay, that I get. I think sometimes we get so lost in like all the things we're supposed to do with marketing, but what you just described, like, oh, that I understand.
Right. Yeah. And it makes sense. And again, there's been plenty of studies done about how the human eye travels through a website. Let's take advantage of those studies and actually put really good, well thought out content in those places that our brain is naturally going.
It's really good. Well, if people want to have you do a website review, because I know you guys generously give free website reviews. If you want to do a website review, where can they go?
They can go to clarifymywebsite.com and schedule a time to chat. We also now have the show on a podcast. Sometimes the video is maybe a little bit long to sit and watch, but you can get this on a podcast if you're, whether it's in Google Play or on the iTunes store, search Well Dressed Walrus or The Human Side of Marketing and get this in the podcast.
Awesome.
Stick it in your ears while you're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, so good. Awesome. Well, great episode, Kurt. Thank you for your time and your wisdom, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Thanks, Chris.